reflects how artists or poets work are not their own once it's there outside. It's owned by whoever listens to it. And yeah.
It used to be a baby's named after a grandmother if it's a girl, and a grandfather if it's a boy. This used to be the simplest but the best way of remembering. But slowly, some people are forgetting. Babies are named after Hollywood actors, politicians, saints. That the moment I call my youngest brother Jerick, he is just Jerick. My sister Mega, she is this girl named after this famous actress, Sharon Cuneta. My brother Reggie, which is just another Reggie, short and snappy name, easy to remember, easy to write, and easy to forget because it does not mean anything. We have become the generation forgotten. Some of us were not given the chance to remember. Some of us were not given the chance to be remembered. Our Hispanized and Anglicized name, however beautiful those names are, cut a cord and snapped us away from mother memory. We have learned our vocabulary in English very well, but every time you pick up the phone to utter your spiel, "Hello, this is Brittany from the Los Angeles Times. May I have your phone number, please, so I can access your account?" With all the sweetness coming from your culture you could muster, you anticipate a shouting American frustrated in receiving the wrong paper of the day and answer you back with, fuck you, idiot." You could never answer back with "fuck you." The words would just be like a lump of bile stuck on your throat you struggle to swallow. It churns in the inside. Every "fuck you, stupid." "Thank you. Are you a robot? Am I talking to a human?" flows down your stomach, and you try to push everything out through the hole on your navel. Out your navel, where the cord was cut from your mother, and from your mother's mother, your grandmother. Your grandmother used to talk in her sleep. She would wake up very early in the morning to feed the squealing pigs. She would sit in front of the dalikan to chop bila, which she would mix with the tuyo to make ang. You were always there watching her every morning. If she notices you, she would clean a space beside her to make way for you. You sit beside her as she hums, as she chants, and as you wait for the rising of the sun. Often, your grandmother tags you along. She used to carry a bowl made from coconut shell and a few pieces of husked and unhusked rice grains. Your grandmother used this to call the spirit of a sick person. The kadkadwa must have wandered away. Sometimes you wake up from nightmares and bad dreams, a headache, and you find something tied on your shirt. You examine with your fingers, and you know the feel of bagas and irik. You believe this cured you, this brought your abiik back, and so you are well again. Often, the best way to heal is to remember. To remember to call back spirits that might have wandered. Because even your own kadkadwa, your abiik, your spirit can wander away. The best way to heal is not to forget, but to remember. But my grandma's coconut shell bowl has long since disappeared. It was buried with her under her grave. And I am away, wandering from ili to ili, from city to city, wondering if I'm lost or still rooted because of these childhood memories. I'm holding on to memories. These are my strength. Last time, my doctor told me that I have weak lungs. I need to take care of myself. But the city life taught me to smoke cigarettes. It's good. I enjoy every breath I take. When you smoke, every breath counts. Sometimes you even remember you're alive. And sometimes you even remember. Sometimes you dream. Sometimes you write and you breathe. You have a weak lungs, perhaps even a weak atoy, liver, that if I'm a chicken or a pig and my grandfather would butcher me, he would be told of no omen. Your grandfather cried when you asked him if you can do atod. He cries because you were the first among his apos to ask him to teach you the old ways. He told you maybe he can teach you only the ido because you're not married yet. You learn more from me when you get a husband and many children, he said. Mandunga ka, you listen. Buyaum san iatda, you observe. You watch how they read the atoy and you long for the dalom you'll eat later. Your grandfather has a hope for your future. You might be the next mangatod. You remember he told you this, and you wonder when you can go back home to relearn the old ways, because at some point a bridge was broken, a chasm was left in the open, and you wonder when you can take the leap of faith to cross to the other side again. Because the rosemary you planted died, and the lemongrass you planted is dying. You blame the acidic city soil. Your plants die. Your langka is fenced. You used to plant whatever seed you can gather, even the preposterous tamarind seeds, and they sprout. Perhaps it is the soil, but you still try to plant. Then you find yourself teaching English to Japanese or Koreans. But some days are better. Those days you write. Those days you tell stories. You try to remember. Because when the pain is too excruciating to bear, the only remaining way of healing ourselves is to remember. Stories are my blood, my key. Stories made me the woman I am today. I was confused, but I settled to the idea that no idealism could perfectly define me and my ancestral history. It was the stories passed from chant to chant, from mouth to mouth, that made me who I am today. At some point you still privileged because you have a grandfather happy to teach you the old ways. You feel privileged because you believe your hand is still fecund. You have a way back. In your own place, women still plant the rice stalks first. Women are fertility. Women are life. And you are lucky. You have your grandmother's name, which was your grandmother's 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 name. The name passed down like life. It's the mark of your bloodline. And you continue the story. I was left with good stories, although not everything is a happy story. But every story is a hope. And my hope is that everybody would remember while things change, while we still can. I try myself. I try. Because remembering is the better way to build the chasm built by colonization, globalization, crime, and the changes of time. Because remembering is the better way to heal ourselves from the pain we derive from the question, who am I? Thank you.